So what called you to go to Ohio? I mean, why were you there? Did you want to support the people there? Did you think they were being overlooked or ignored? Or why'd you make the trip to Ohio?
I wanted to go and see for myself and to hear from them myself. You know, as soon as I heard about the train accident and the derailment and the toxic chemical spill, and then that thing they're calling a controlled release, which looked like a huge bomb going off, you know, I was watching this all play out on TV, and this was one of the reasons that I first ran for office.
Right. It kind of stirs that same feelings completely. Of the protecting the aquifer back home.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
I see.
With people's, you know, I mean, literally as we're sitting here, the people there are very concerned about their aquifer being contaminated.
Right.
Because Norfolk Southern, the company that owns those trains, their priority was on getting new tracks laid down so they could run those trains through again. And they basically shoveled dirt and gravel over all of these toxic chemicals that had spilled just so they could lay track down and get those trains running again.
Right.
And that's what people there feel like. They're like, well, we feel like their priority was on making money and getting those trains there more than it was the safety of the community. And so, you know, I felt really heartbroken for the people there and angry at the lack of care coming from our own government for them. And I was in New York City doing some work there, and it just got to a point where I was just like, hey, I need to go.
So you can go, and you feel like you being there, drawing attention to it, talking to people, and then also you go on other talk shows, and then you can talk about what you've seen there, what you've experienced. And so it gives you that perspective to hopefully get the message out that this needs attention.
And try to bring their voices to the forefront, and to do so in a way that I've heard from them, you know, directly. And
well, even the call we had today, I mean, he said that nobody really heard of I didn't even know there was an East Palestine.
A lot of people did.
I mean, I didn't know that was even a place, but he said nobody ever heard of us before now and now. So yeah, I get that. It is.
And that was just for people listening or watching, going that, you know, I literally, it was 5:00 in New York, and I made the decision to go and booked a flight that was leaving at 7, packed my stuff real quick, ran to the airport without, I didn't know anybody on the ground there personally. I didn't have anybody's phone numbers or anything. And,
right.
And it was through a couple other veterans that I was introduced to this veteran of the Navy, Brian. And, you know, I was texting him that night, and at like 4:00 the next morning, and he and his wife, Samantha, very generously offers, hey, yeah, come by the house. And so I went and was talking to them, and mentioned that I was coming here to see you after. And so he's a very, very inspired by you. So I was glad that we were able to FaceTime with him earlier
today. Seems like a great guy.
He texted me after. I actually didn't share this with you, but I just want to read it because it is, you know, as we're talking about impact. This is from Brian. He says, thank you, Tulsi. This month has been hell. Meeting and hanging out with you and FaceTiming Cam lifted my spirits more than you'll ever know. I appreciate you so damn much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But it's those, you know, I mean, this is coming from a guy who after he left the service, ultimately got to a point where he had no purpose to live. And so he's been to those darkest places. And, you know, now he's in a much better place and is finding his purpose in being able to help other people who've been or are where he was.
Right. And he's starting an outdoor group, isn't he?
He is. Yeah. He is. It's called At Ease Outdoors. And just so he can share his own experiences and the things that have helped him in his life with others who might be struggling, whether they're veterans or not.
Right. And, you know, veterans or anybody need an outlet. Sometimes outdoors can be that.
Yeah.
Be that calming. I don't know. I think everybody needs to calm their mind sometimes. And we talked about that, even the shooting the bows today.
Yes.
Is like, you can't be focused on anything else other than shooting a perfect arrow. And that's what people need. It's almost therapeutic in a way.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
Okay. So I understand. And totally makes perfect sense why you went to Ohio, and I love that. And it's go back to your, initial reason for getting into politics. And I love that. I love that you showed up and wanted to see it for yourself and see if you could make a difference. So why would you think that the president of our United States hasn't made the trip to Ohio? Those people feel like they've been abandoned in some way or ignored in some way, or it shouldn't, if he's over in Ukraine, which seems like it's a little bit further than Ohio, and spending time over there, why isn't he there to see that spill or the train derailment?
The most simple answer to that is it is a symptom of the bigger problem of not caring. Mm-hmm. And, as the president of the United States, look, President Biden promised when he was running for office, and I think even in his inauguration address, promised to be a president for all Americans. Mm-hmm. People who voted for him or not.
Right.
And I heard from folks there in East Palestine, Ohio. Yeah, most of that county voted for Trump. Mm-hmm. And the fact that even has to cross their mind saying, well, I wonder if he didn't come here because we didn't vote for him, is a pretty sad statement in and of itself. No American should feel that way.
Right.
And I think it speaks to kind of a bigger, and it's not just President Biden. We saw the same kind of dismissive attitude in his Secretary of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg. Mm-hmm. Okay, you could say, well, the President of the United States is a pretty big job, being pulled in a lot of different directions. Maybe the guy who should be going out there immediately is the Secretary of Transportation. Well, he didn't even say anything publicly about this situation until 10 days after it was over. And then a lot of his statements were like, this thing is getting a lot of attention, but, there are over 1,000 train derailments every year, as though, this isn't important.
Yeah.
And also, what are you doing about that? Like, that's a disturbing, alarming number.
Right.
And when you look at, where these trains, the communities that they're running through, you have homes 50 feet away.
Right.
100 feet away on both sides of these tracks. And so I'm thinking about people at home who now are wondering, like, gosh, I wonder what those trains are carrying.
Yeah.
I wonder if our community is going to be next. And I wonder if anybody's going to be there for us.
Yeah.
And how maddening it must feel to be living in those communities. And then to see our president not only not showing up, but instead choosing to go to another country, promising another $500 million on top of the over $120 billion of our taxpayer dollars that have already been sent to that country to secure their border, to pay their pensions, to build schools, and to undermine our own national security by escalating this proxy war against Russia. Russia has more nuclear warheads than the United States and have made very clear that the use of a nuclear weapon is certainly on the table.
Right.
And so where could that potentially lead? A nuclear, President Reagan said very powerfully, a nuclear war can never be won and therefore should never be fought.
Right.
And it is absolute insanity that we live in a world right now where the leaders in our country and leaders in other countries are so and talking heads on TV, they're so nonchalantly talking about, oh, well, if World War III starts, well, this is how we would, strategically approach it. Or, if a tactical nuclear weapon is used, then this would happen and that would happen, as though it's like just another day.
Right.
And not at all being honest, frankly, with them, maybe with themselves, but certainly not with the American people, about what that really means. And how, yes, there are, they will have bunkers that they can operate and continue to fight the war from, but where does that leave the rest of us?
Exactly.
Destroyed, like absolutely incinerated and destroyed. So, there are, we can talk about what's happening in East Palestine, but East Palestine is unfortunately just the latest in a whole string of examples, of similar examples, where our leadership is very quick to go and, launch new regime change wars or, funnel more money into the military industrial complex, pushing our country deeper and deeper into debt. Meanwhile, you have people in East Palestine literally begging
for help.
begging for help.